Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing a video talking about George St. Pierre versus Nick Diaz. Was announced today, actually. It's going to be at UFC 158, which is, let's see, March 16th in Montreal. So that's going to be a humongous fight. Really excited to see that because, I mean, originally that's what we all wanted. At least most of us wanted. Most of us wanted to see Nick Diaz, the bad guy, versus GSP, the supposed good guy. And, you know, finally it's coming about, but it's coming at a weird time. I'm going to say that because everybody was assured that next in line for GSP was Anderson Silva. And it looks like now, if GSP is going to be fighting Nick Diaz, the obvious, conclusion you can draw from that is he's not going to be fighting Anderson Silva, at least not yet. Maybe in the summertime, late summer, but it looks like to me, because he was supposed to fight Anderson right after Carlos, that he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. It's that simple. It really seems like to me that GSP does not want to fight Anderson Silva. So that's kind of another topic for another video, but the fact that this fight is going down, I think, is basically proof that GSP does not want to fight Anderson. He refuses to do it. Because I know the UFC probably wanted to make that happen. That would have been probably the biggest fight of all time and the biggest moneymaker in the history of the sport. So if it's not happening, that means GSP probably declined, because Anderson obviously was not going to decline, that's for sure. So this fight, on the other hand, still will be really good. Now, it's not 100% official yet because Cesar Gracie's been the one to break the news and not Dana White. So at this point, we don't know absolutely for sure, but it looks like that's what's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and do a video prediction for the fight, give my thoughts on it. Obviously, it's been a huge fight, long time coming. If we can't get GSP versus Anderson Silva because GSP refuses to do it, then the next best thing is Nick Diaz against GSP, which is what we all wanted to see to begin with instead of Carlos anyway. So let's see how this would go. So GSP obviously has the wrestling advantage. Was pretty impressive during the fight against Carlos how easily he manhandled him, throwing him around like a rag doll. We can kind of expect him to probably do the same thing against Nick Diaz. However, Nick Diaz's jiu-jitsu is better than Carlos's. Carlos's is. His boxing is a lot better than Carlos's is. Now, he doesn't have the kicks very much. He doesn't, use a lot of head kicks or, Muay Thai kickboxing or things of that nature. But his boxing, his sort of bare-knuckle boxing style is impressive. And I think GSP is going to have a lot of trouble with it because if you remember, again, in the Jake Shields fight, when it got into the later rounds and GSP gassed out quite a bit, Jake Shields was landing that jab in GSP's eye pretty bad. And if you remember at this corner, GSP was pretty worried about it. He's like, I can't see out of my eye. And his trainers are like talking to me like, come on, George, you're worried. You can do this. It's okay. Don't worry about it. All that stuff. So you better believe that if Jake Shields was able to do that, GSP is going to be able to do a lot better than that, or Nick Diaz will be able to do a lot better than that against him. Now, there is a danger, of course, that Nick Diaz could get lay and prayed. He could just get taken down and over and over again, round after round, and GSP could just win a decision that way, which would suck. So there is a potential of that. So if GSP wins, that's probably going to be how it's going to happen. I don't see him knocking Diaz out. I don't see him submitting him. So if he's able to do it, it's going to be by decision and his wrestling. On the other hand, though, Nick Diaz does have two ways to win, or maybe three. He could win a decision, even though it's not very likely. He could use his boxing and his cardio to tire GSP and land on him a good number of times and win a decision. He could submit GSP, very possible, especially because GSP is going to be laying praying and he's got the Cesar Gracie Jiu-Jitsu. And he could potentially knock him out, obviously, which we could see happen because GSP does tend to, obviously, we saw against Jake Shields, if he does get landed on quite a bit, he tends to mentally kind of give up, so to speak, or need a little coaching and reassurance into going into it. Now, obviously, if anybody gets hit in the eye that bad and they can't see him, whatever, they're going to be panicky. But I'm just saying. That being said, obviously, the odds are going to favor GSP. Probably 60-40 for GSP in terms of advantage. And I go with that too, but goddamn do I want to see Nick Diaz win. Oh my God. And I am Canadian, by the way, and I want to see Nick Diaz just beat the shit out of GSP. I'm tired of GSP winning for so long. It's boring. Okay, his style of lay and pray, it's terrible. You know, lay and pray into a decision. I mean, I guess it's fair because the guys have to be able to stop him from taking him down, but it's boring to watch as a spectator. Plus, Nick Diaz is a badass. His striking is exciting. He's never in a boring fight unless he's fighting Carlos Conduit and all he does is, you know, backpedal and run away the whole fight. I'm thinking of some of the fights like BJ Penn against Nick Diaz. You know, these kinds of fights. Man, amazing. So I'm really stoked for this. I'm really excited. And, I mean, if we can't get Anderson versus GSP, we're going to get the next best thing. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the fight, guys. That's it for this video. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you for the next one. This is Trev. Saying peace.